Andrew till 6 on BBC Radio Leeds. Lovely to have your company today. I'm not grumbling for a moment. This time last year we were up to our knees, literally, in snow. Look at it today. Had a walk around the block at lunchtime, coat open, 11 degrees. What's going on? Anyway, we'll talk to Paul Hudson and a really interesting personal weather forecast. That's about 5:15. In the next hour, it's our Wednesday Witter. Delighted to welcome back Lisa Clifford, performance coach based here in Yorkshire, inspirational speaker and firewalking instructor, and a man who has literally just burst through the doors. He's run across the centre of Leeds from his HQ in Hunslet. It's Dr. Adam Beaumont, the boss of AQL, the telecoms firm. So, on their agenda, and I really hope yours as well today, when, if ever, and why, have you changed bank? Do you have a better life than your parents? And will our children and grandchildren have it easier or harder than you did? What in your life? This was inspired by the news that we're going to have some more protected products, a bit like Wensleydale cheese. You can say it's from Wensleydale if it's made properly in that place. Anglesey sea salt, West Country beef and lamb. Just inspired me today to wonder what in your life, could be a person, a place you'd love to visit, a special object, anything. What would you protect to keep and safeguard forever? And finally, do you dress to impress or to blend into the background? Adam, I'll get him to describe what he's wearing. Even better, I'll get Lisa to describe what Adam's wearing. So, do you dress to impress or to blend into the background? Explain where that's on our agenda as well. He's doing a twirl for us in a very, very nice check jacket, but doesn't work brilliantly on the radio. And 3 after 3 tunes up to the news at 4 today. We're going to celebrate the fantastic family harmonies of the Everly Brothers. 2 tracks of theirs, and I'll tell you why they are our 3 after 3 tunes today. But in the middle, one that is making huge waves, particularly in the States, bringing together the lead singer of the band Green Day and Norah Jones. Billy Joe and Norah have done an album called Foreverly. See what they did there? I think you'll love that tune. Up to the news at 4 as well. And today's signature song, well, it's a radio and TV signature tune. We're on to the letter C. It was used by an English comedian, TV and radio presenter. Any ideas yet? Just for the honour. 81333, leads at the start of your text. Twitter, I'm at Radio Andrew E. And when you email, andrew.edwards@bbc.co.uk. Afternoon.
At the heart of West Yorkshire.
It's our Wednesday Witter. Look who's here. Happy New Year. I'm told you can say that until today and today only. I don't quite know why, but halfway through the month, Dr. Adam Beaumont, I can say Happy New Year to you.
Let's keep going till the end.
Happy New Year. And Lisa Clifford, Happy New Year to you, Lisa. Nice to see you both. So, the Wednesday Witter, weekly chance to discuss some of the issues of the week. A couple of guests. Lisa is a performance coach and inspirational speaker, specialising in the mind, and a firewalking instructor, and part-time mountain adventurer as well, based here in Yorkshire. And Adam has literally run across the centre of Leeds to be with us this afternoon. We're at our studios at Quarry Hill. Adam is the boss of AQL, his own company, based in Hunslet in Leeds. The firm roots, how many millions would we be talking about now, roughly speaking?
It depends on what the weather's doing. This is the time of year when bad weather means that schools close, and most parents get a text in the morning to say school closed or boiler broken. So it's really weather dependent. But on a day when all the schools close and there's transport chaos, then maybe a couple of million. So yes, we make money out of that kind of misery.
So you
in a good way.
You want some snow like we had this time last year?
I'm not going to pray for people's misfortune.
Adam's firm has been described as a key part of Britain's telecoms infrastructure, and it's based just south of Leeds Bridge. And if you've seen those blue phone boxes, the TARDIS-like phone boxes that have appeared in Leeds and have become quite a talking point, it's his idea to have those there, and not only do they have lots of wiring in and routing things, their Wi-Fi hotspots and the rest. Interesting. So, Adam Beaumont is here, so is Lisa Clifford. On their agenda and yours this afternoon, after 3:30, do you dress to impress or to blend into the background? I just thought I'd share with you a couple of the early tweets on this afternoon, which have made me smile. This is from Yorkshire Gritters on Twitter. Listen to the name, Yorkshire Gritters.
We're going to follow them.
We wear Armani suits to drive our critters. Very nice. Hashtag posh. Buddha Lee says, smart casual for me, although I have been known to wear a suit. Dressed to impress, usually designer names, though. Brian says, wear whatever you want. I discovered the beauty of tweed at the age of 50, and I've not looked back. What's the jacket you're wearing today, Adam, would you say?
That's another tweed, yes.
I thought it might be. Louise, who's our political reporter here at Radio Leeds, says, us political reporters are known for our flair and I love to dress up. There we are. Heels nearly all the way, says Deborah on Twitter as well. I'll retweet these because it's obviously really got you going. So, do we dress to impress or to blend into the background? I'm at Radio Andrew E on Twitter. If I manage to coordinate myself, what I'll do is I'll get a picture of Lisa, me and Adam so you can draw some fashion conclusions for that.
Oh dear.
Okay, I'll get a picture of me and Adam. I'll get a picture of me and Adam that we'll put
I'm
up.
dressed for comfort today.
Okay, well, it can be. You can take a picture of him and me then. Should we do that? At Radio Andrew Ian, you can judge for yourself whether I'm dressing to impress this afternoon or to blend into the back. I'm on the radio, for goodness sake. I didn't know we'd talk about this. So we'll talk about that. What in your life, person, place, object, would you protect to keep and safeguard forever? Whether you've got a better life than your parents, and will our children and grandchildren have it easier or harder than you did? But first, when, if ever, and why have you changed bank? Now, you're a business person, Adam. I would imagine, if I had to do a straw poll amongst the three of us, that of the three of us, the most likely to have changed bank would be you.
I'm quite opinionated about banks, yeah, you're right.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I won't name and shame any on the air, but...
I'm glad, because I quite like my job. Yeah.
But one of the challenges you have with changing banks, particularly when you're a business, is that unlike your mobile phone number or your landline number that you can move between operators, there isn't a way of actually moving your sort code and your bank account number between different bank providers. So if you've told everybody this is the number, this is the bank account you always want to pay, you have to send all your customers out a letter to change over, unless you've got them all on direct debit. But for us, we send out thousands of invoices a week, and if you change the number on there, there's no chance that they'd actually flip the bank account over. They'd keep paying the old one. So you are kind of tied to your bank, and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really... I've never heard
Captive
anybody make that
customers.
simple point, because, of course... it's always struck me that banks have a family of sort codes, don't they? But of course they're still geographically based. And how odd is that? I mean, my bank account is still in Hull. I'm still with the same bank. I'll declare my hand now that I opened my account with when I had my first paper round, and that is a geographically linked code, even though of course it's completely irrelevant. I could access my bank accounts on my phone here in my hand at this moment. Does that seem very, very out of date to you?
It does.
Then?
So we've mastered porting for mobiles. You can nearly do real-time porting for a mobile number now, so you could almost say, right, I want to change operator, and you can walk into a shop and it happens almost as you're sat there. Not quite, but almost. But
it was only 45 minutes, I think, in my case. In the summer.
Exactly. But banking is so far behind in terms of the technology. Some of that's for security, to protect your interests, honest. But the rest of it is just purely the way that the systems work are archaic, and there isn't a centralised repository that allocates these codes and allows them to be then tracked.
So you think it's in their interest to keep it that way, and that's perhaps why we've not seen a lot of change.
Very much so, yeah.
Really interesting. Have you, to answer the question then, changed branch or bank? Business first, then we'll come on to personal.
Business, for the reasons I've just mentioned, there's accounts that we can never stop using.
Yeah.
However, where we keep our money is a separate matter. So yeah, absolutely, we move around.
And I think a lot of us listening will have done that. We may have the main current account we use for our lives or whatever, but we may have some other money in other places, savings or whatever. Personally, what about that?
Personally, always stayed with the same one. So
Offshore.
No, actually, no. So, I mean, I grew up with the piggies, and so I've still got my piggies bank account, and I've still got another one at another leading bank.
That is, doesn't it?
Oh,
absolutely. You know, if you get people early, they're there. Lisa, what about you?
Oh, I have the same opinion of Adam, actually. However, I've got 7 bank accounts with
Look
my
at you.
bank. Yeah, no
What,
money
with
in
the
any
same
of them.
bank? With the same
with
bank?
the same bank, yes. I've got a limited account, I've got a sole trader account, I've got my current account, I've got other savings accounts. And on the way here, I was thinking, I think I'm going to open some other accounts in other banks.
As if they weren't enough. Yeah.
And I've been with my bank since I was 18, so just the last 5 years. I can say that I'm on radio.
That was good, wasn't it?
I've thought it through long and hard. And my concern about moving, or not so much the who's paying me, but who I'm paying, that would get disrupted. And worse still, that my mortgage wouldn't get paid. And then, with it being in a recession, that
but isn't the
might
argument
be
now,
some
they
comeback
advertise
on that.
saying, we sort that all out now, we stop you needing to worry, but you don't believe that?
I don't believe
don't
it. No, I don't believe it. And also, I've had such a good credit. My accounts with my bank have been so good for 16 16, 17 years, not in my earlier days when I was just learning, but have been so good that I'm known to that bank. But I know it's not the same as it used to be when your bank account used to know you, your bank manager used to know you personally.
But you're worried about prejudicing that in a way,
yes, and that I know that that my how I handled my account, they give you some sort of score, that it was the highest score I could have, and that's a bit of an incentive for me to stay, so they know that I don't go into debt, and they know how I spend my money. I feel that I daren't.
That's interesting,
move.
Adam. So this is now, because Lisa works for herself, her personal and business accounts, she's got them all now with the same bank. But that's interesting. She doesn't want to step outside that safe area, and the banks know that, don't they?
Oh, they do. They know there's a comfort zone. Absolutely. And your credit rating is probably quite a complicated one, because it sounds like you're absolutely not a credit risk. You probably don't borrow money or anything. So,
apart from my mortgage.
But people that borrow more money and pay it back regularly are likely to have a much higher credit rating. So maybe you need to borrow more money and move banks.
That's what you've gone
Get
wrong.
in that Ferrari.
So, I think this is fascinating. When, if ever, was my question, and why have you changed bank? So, just back to the first point, from a business point of view, you changed because the product was better, it would offer you different terms or better interest rates. What sort of reasons would there be, Adam?
More to streamline with my business. So, for us, we bill out amounts of money. Some of it's seven figures, some of it is £2.40 a month. And especially for those micropayments, you need to make sure that there's a way that they are automatically and seamlessly interface with your business, so that somebody doesn't have to count them and reconcile them. So we choose the product that works in the most automated way with our business, so somebody doesn't have to do boring stuff.
And yet you're a sharp guy. Why are you still with the person or the bank that you started with for your personal banking? That's what really intrigues me.
I guess it's loyalty and simplicity. All the banks pay virtually no interest, so that may be a sweeping statement. So I don't really see any incentive to change. In my business banking life, I've seen that the grass isn't always greener, so there's no real point in moving for any kind of incentive now. It's just a bank account.
Well, the reason it's in the news today, the Labour leader Ed Miliband setting out details today of his plans to increase competition in the banking industry. He wants the big five high street banks to sell off some of their branches. Given what we've just heard, and I have to say, I don't think you two are untypical at all. I think we've got a long way to go before things change. So you're with the branch or the bank that you've been with since you were 18, Lisa?
Yes.
And you are with the one that you've been with since you were how old in personal
14, I think.
14, yeah. And mine must be about 14 when I got the paper out. What a story. 81333, Leeds at the start of your text. Join our Wednesday Witter. On Twitter at Radio Andrew E, where the ether is agog with your answers to the question, do you dress to impress or to blend into the background? If you are anywhere near a computer and you just want to add a picture to the images we're going to discuss after 3:30, look for what the footballing star Lionel Messi was wearing at the Ballon d'Or Football Awards this week, because it's a quiet, understated little suit. So if you get a chance to have a look for it, look for that, Lionel Messi and his suit, and then you'll see one of the things that's inspired us to talk about this here on BBC Radio Leeds for the Wednesday with, how can it be 23 minutes past 3 already?
Oh, we'll have to have another hour.
23 minutes past 3. Next, do you have a better life than your parents, and will our children and grandchildren have it easier or harder than you did? Then 24 minutes past 3, our Wednesday Witter. If you've just joined us, let me introduce my guest. Lisa Clifford is here, Yorkshire-based performance coach, inspirational speaker and firewalking instructor. And Adam Beaumont is here as well, the boss of AQL, based in Hunslet in Leeds, the telecommunications company. So, better life than your parents, and what about the next generation? Will they have it easier or harder than you did? You're a dad, Adam. Do you think first, though, that you have a better life? And that's an interesting thing in its own right, what better means. Better life than your parents.
I definitely have a different life. I think that whatever you do, the things that you might criticise yourself for doing, you try to eradicate, and you try not to pass on to your children. So any fears you have, any worries, whatever, you try to make sure that they're not affected by them. So I think that you're automatically programmed to shelter and protect your children and make them have a better life, or to give them a step up, and to be starting further down the running track than you did. So I think I have a far better life than my parents. I think I've had a lot more opportunities, and it's nice now to start sharing some of them with my mum and sort of drag her along as well. So yeah, absolutely. I think you always exceed your parents' horizons.
And that's interesting, because there is a lot of talk at the moment that the generation who are growing up now, in terms of things like pensions, for example, or house prices, the ability to buy their own house, all sorts of different things, working hours, you could go on, are actually going to have a less good life, a less good quality of life than their parents have had, particularly that 60s baby boomer generation. You don't buy into that?
Well, I guess. Across the board, okay, we're not sending people up chimneys anymore,
no.
which is good. So
that'd be a heck of a lead story at 4 o'clock, wouldn't it?
I mean, I try to send mine up chimney once a week or so, just to balance things out.
I understand that. Yeah.
I think that okay, there's the risk that people may work longer hours, but everything like that is cyclical. It's based around recessions. It's based around other factors. It's not a long-term historical thing. So there might be some short-term austerity measures, but I don't think those will really affect generation to generation.
So you think, on balance, we're going through some tricky times, but on balance, though, you think it's still forward movement?
Absolutely, yeah.
Lisa, what about you, then? Just look back at your parents first, and you've got dogs. I don't think dogs probably quite count in the same way, but we'll do a bit of forward-looking as well. So do you have a better life than your parents?
I certainly do. I absolutely do. I think what I notice about my life in particular is it's very empowered, whereas when I look at my parents' life, and as we know from previous conversations, my mum was very poorly, and my dad made a decision to compromise to stay with her. So I witnessed a lot of limitation and a lot of the belief of you make your bed, you lie in it, which I know is what most grandparents think. So I'm very happy that I live a life of a limitless point of view, with freedom and with empowerment that I didn't particularly witness in my parents.
And is that more pronounced because of being a woman from a generation where you have been able to make these choices, run your own life, run your own business in a way that perhaps you wouldn't if you'd been 20 years older?
I think in my dad's generation was you got a job and you were lucky to keep a job and you worked hard, and and even our childhoods, we would play out. We'd make friends. We'd be more sociable. And now children are if they're out, then it's like punishment. If we were in, it was punishment. So I think everything now is instant. It's disposable. And so there's pressure with that, and we are available all the time.
Next generation, then, do you think that... I mean, I've got a daughter now, 13, 14. What do you think of that generation and where they're going? Have you got friends with children of this sort of age?
Oh, gosh. I dread to think of the pressure that technology puts people under, and what they're learning at such an early age, and what they have access to at such an early age, and what beliefs that's set up. So I think that in terms of a mindset point of view, there's going to be a lot more work to be done.
That's really interesting, Adam. You
on
work
people
in
years
I think
to
this
come.
is fascinating. I mean, Lisa's not said anything. I'm putting access to some of the images that young kids seeing on computers now. I'm not going to be more specific. A lot of people listen on the school run. We don't need to go into detail. We know what we're talking about. Some of the technology that's around, the constant availability. What does that put on? Does that cause problems of a different kind, Adam, or is it good generally if we get it right?
Well, constant availability, it can be quite wearing. It's almost there's not really an excuse for downtime. And that's also very good for policing children as they get older, because they never have an excuse to be out away from the phone, or you can probably track them on the phone or whatever. There's always a way to keep in touch with them. But the idea that you would read a book on your iPhone rather than sit and read a book and relax, it's a different kind of relaxation or pastime, and it's a completely different discipline. And I think that anything that loses those is a bad thing. And the idea of being outside, I use outside all the time. That was play, more than toys or more than anything else.
Yeah.
And
playing out with friends.
But now the investment that's needed with everybody and people do work harder and people work longer hours. The investment that's needed to be with your children and to actually allow them to be outside and to allow more play dates and all this kind of stuff. It's quite a lot of extra time that you need to do that. So it is hard.
Look at you with your American phrase. I went through the whole of primary school without using knowingly the phrase play date, but I notice everyone is using it now. Well, can you come round on a play date? No, we live in Headingley. They'll come round to play after school, perhaps. But I'll think about it.
At least it hasn't got a Z in it.
Exactly. Excellent. Nice to see you both. Adam Beaumont, Lisa Clifford, Wednesday Witter. Dr. Adam Beaumont is here, the boss of AQL, the telecommunications company based in Hunslet in Leeds, and alongside him, Lisa Clifford, performance coach, inspirational speaker, and firewalking instructor, which certainly got you intrigued when you were introduced for the first time earlier, didn't it, Adam?
Absolutely.
So there we are. Everyone needs a bit of firewalking. I have done it, and I have survived it. Fascinating experience, really intriguing. Anyway, next, what in your life, could be a person, a place you love to visit, a special object, anything, would you protect to keep and safeguard forever? Listening to the news with Liz Green this morning, I heard Larry Budd mention that Anglesey sea salt and West Country beef and lamb are joining things like Yorkshire Wensleydale cheese and Melton Mowbray pork pies on the list. I don't want to know your food stuff, it may be a food, but what in your life, and I've given you that list, person, place, thing, would you safeguard and keep special and sacred forever, Lisa?
Well, as we know, I love my mountains. And I shared them with other people.
It's a convenient that, isn't it?
Are they on your planet?
This is my mountain.
And they're on my planet, as Adam said. And I love the Yorkshire Three Peaks because I often go walking on my own. I'm aware that I need to be safe, and so do other people if they see me. So I love them. It makes me feel alive and vital, free. I don't know how I'm going to manage with 2 dogs on them. I love that area, and I hope it is preserved and taken care of and looked after, so many more people forever and ever can have the same experience.
And of course it does have protection at the moment, but you'd like it to be there forever. I think that's really interesting. When you go and know somewhere well, you think it's just mine, don't you? You almost think as if no one really knows about this. And in nature, you can kid yourself that, because we're all pretty insignificant out there in the big expanses.
I'm one of those really annoying people, Andrew. When I get to the top, I have a chat with everybody. Oh, have you been before? As though I'm the tour guide. I'm all-seeing, all-knowing. How can I help? Do you want some plasters? Do you want some painkillers? I've got a bandage.
If you see it, just turn the other way. Just ignore me. You know, it'd be
and when I do go with
that's a public service, though. Plasters when you're up there is very important.
I could get a very high price. And one of my friends that has been with me once, and maybe this is the reason why, she says, Lisa, and I said, what? She says, stop talking to people. And people say to me, what's the visibility like? And I like to contribute. So the Yorkshire Three Peaks.
The Three Peaks. So there we are. We are protecting. Well, they've got some protection already, but we're going to give them the extra.
Are you're making a note? You're going to have a word?
It is.
Yes.
It's the Lisa Clifford protection is going to be round the Three Peaks, which if you've not done them before, and they're on your list of, I'd like to do them one day. Stunning, aren't they?
I do them once or twice a year, the whole 3, and then I go walking there. Not Adam's just looked at me in shock. Not in one go. I don't do them twice in one go.
Okay.
I'm trying to think which was the one we did on a New Year's Day when, by the time you got to the top, you thought, what possessed you to think that with wind chill like that in snow, it'd be a good idea to be on the top? I think Penny Ghent, I think, but madness. Right, Three Peaks. What for you, Adam, are we going to protect forever?
I guess on the same Yorkshire theme, really. I've always been obsessed by rivers. So I'm a kayaker and a rower. And I like my wild swimming, which is what they call it now. They used to just call it get in the river. But it's now called wild.
Got a name.
It's now called wild swimming. That's probably an American term as well, isn't it? So it would be the river wharf. So I love the river wharf. It's clean. It's massively varied. Where I live, I chose the house because it's near the river. So absolutely, I preserve that. And so it flows near the three, well, past one of the Three Peaks,
well,
doesn't it?
I'll let you swim past them.
We can sort of, well, that's very simple. I thought it'd be a complicated job, but we can actually just have a sort of an exclusion zone, really. So just do a bit of wild swimming, Lisa up on the top of the beach just going for, and that's it. It's funny that the wharf means different things to me. It's a lovely place not far from, in the Wetherby end of things, where we go for a wander through the Bluebell Woods every spring. We met some friends at Bolton Abbey. If I think back to just that period between Christmas Christmas and New Year. I walked the Dales Way with my daughter, and walking a lot of that along along the wharf. You know, these are special places to so many of us.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
And free.
And free.
What's not to like about that? Excellent. The Three Peaks. Finally, are we going to do this picture? You're going to have to do this. I'll tell you what, we'll do it when we reach our first piece of music. But I know you are. I'll tell you what, Adam, actually, I should tell you, he's rearranged all his afternoon to be with you today. I'm going to prove that a man can do two things at once. So here we are. When you see the picture of Adam behind this red microphone, bear in mind that not only can I talk on the radio, are you ready?
Ready.
That's the picture.
Put your tongue back in your mouth.
Did I concentrate when I was doing it? There we are. I'll attempt to tweet out that picture. Now, the reason I've taken a picture of Adam is that...
Uh-oh.
The question... No.
Wanted.
Do you dress to impress or to blend into the background, or does it depend on the context? Now, the return of the suit as a form of casual wear in the evening has helped Moss Bros, the menswear retailer, to emerge as one of the Christmas winners on the high street. Suits, in particular jackets, have become increasingly popular outside the office as men have smartened up for a night out. Have you seen that? Do you like that look, Lisa?
I like everyone to make an effort.
Good, excellent.
Even my dogs make an effort if I'm having a dinner party.
Do they? Well,
I'm
little
not
jackets
joking.
and everything.
Well, more like a little collar. I don't mean like a dog collar, but like a little neckerchief.
Bandana ever, sort of thing?
I have actually dressed my dog in walking clothes.
Have you? Keith says, I'd be Lord Protector of Pontefract Park Racecourse. So there we are. He's going to protect Pontefract Racecourse excellently. But anyway, I saw a picture today of the footballing star Lionel Messi, who lost out in this week's FIFA Ballon d'Or Awards. It's his red suit, though, that's getting all the attention. One comment on Twitter that made me smile was, everyone is rocking a black tux, and Messi shows up in a red one like he's Beyoncé. So there we are. He is wearing a unbelievably flamboyant red suit and a red bow tie as well. Adam, do you dress to impress or to blend into the background?
Depends on the event. So if it's a black tie event, I believe that black tie is black tie. Don't mess with it. And if you can't tie it yourself, then
don't bother.
Don't turn up. So,
Harsh.
oh well, you know. Other than that, I love my tweed. It's warm, it's practical. It's a nice intermediate thing between a suit.
Yes, you can be wearing a jacket which looks smart, but if you'll see this picture in a moment, because I'm not quite able to tweet and talk and all the rest of it. I can just about take the picture. But what it means is you've got a jacket on, but it's still a fairly relaxed look, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I never wear a tie anyway.
Apart from a self-tied bow tie.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I shave every other day. That's just kind of how I am. If you look at the telecoms industry, a lot of it is ties done right up. It's very, very serious. But I just couldn't be part of that. We're more of an innovative company, and the kind of the whole creative side of it just means that we're a little bit more laid back.
Interesting. Oh, and David says, I'm going to protect the northern counties from southeast Little England. So you like the idea of what you're protecting. Mm-hmm. So you dress then on context, but generally speaking, that middle ground I described, the jacket, the warmth, the comfort, but you like that style. You'd be fibbing if you didn't say that there's a bit of the style thing.
Absolutely.
That you like
and
about
it doesn't show the muck either.
Excellent. I do like the good sense here. Lisa, do you dress to impress or to blend into the background?
I do it all. If I'm running a seminar, I have tailor-made dresses that, as you know, are bright in colour. They make me feel lovely and feminine, confident, and they're unique to me. Dinner parties or a black tie dinner, I love wearing lovely, gorgeous dresses, feeling feminine again. Dog walking, I look in the mirror when I get home after walking the dogs and think, oh my God, I spoke to people looking like this. Are my teeth in the right way round? So I love dressing right down. Today I'm dressed for comfort, because I've had a client at home this morning, and also I've been out with the dogs again, so I've got that kind of in between, looking smart and looking comfortable.
That looks lovely. And
Thank
I know you didn't want a picture with, but we're just going to put a picture of Adam up.
No, she just didn't want a picture with me.
I think that was the truth. Sorry.
And then in the summer, I made all my summer skirts and dresses this year.
Hey.
Yeah, and I know, and they didn't fall off.
The Great British Sewing Bee.
Yeah, and so I love little summer skirts and little summer dresses and high heels.
So it's all horses for courses.
It's absolutely dress for the occasion.
Very nice. Red suit. Before you go, because I know you've got to dash back across Leeds City Centre, would you consider ever wearing, say, a bright red suit?
Not my thing.
I think there's only one man that should wear a bright red suit.
And who is that?
Father Christmas. Christmas.
Lionel Messi, you have been told. Lisa Clifford has laid the law down, and I hope you've heard it. He's a big listener to this programme, he really is. Lovely to see you both. I'm going to let you go, Adam, because I know you need to sprint out the office now. Lisa, you can go out in a comfortable way whenever you want to. Lovely to see you both. Thanks for being our Wednesday Witterers this afternoon. Lisa Clifford and Adam Beaumont, thank you for getting in touch.